fun begins.
Hello! Welcome to the Council. We begin tonight's meeting of the Council by calling the Council to order. Hello to everyone, and thanks for joining us. The Council is a live Twitch talk show and podcast discussing Star Wars: The Old Republic. I am Elise, and with me are my fellow Council members, Redna.
Hey, hey, hey.
Sakari.
Hey, everyone.
And Magic Ace.
Hello, and Magic Baby. She says hi.
So today we're going to be talking about the PvP changes in 5.9.2 and the new Rishi Stronghold.
And after this, which is a live broadcast, you can find our recorded episodes everywhere podcasts are found. And on our YouTube channel. Yes, you should check it out. It's great. Don't forget to follow us here on Twitch because we really love the follows. It's a beautiful little heart, and you just make it turn green. That's all you gotta do. It's a great time. And you can also find us on our social media, which is facebook.com/thecouncilswotor, and our Twitter, which is @thecouncilswotor. And also, last but not least, you can find us on Patreon, which is patreon.com/thecouncilswotor. And we have exclusive content that the rest of the non-Patreons cannot get, just in case if you're wondering. Thank you.
You can hear my radical opinions of the general Star Wars universe.
And radical they are. Yes, indeed. We had a great discussion, I think, of the movie, right? The last time? Or some of the movies, some of our theories on things. It was a lot of...
Yeah. I think last week was Last Jedi.
Something like that, yeah.
Which, hey, disclaimer, it's on Netflix now. Anybody that has it, go rewatch it. It's worth it.
Oh, yes. Yes, indeed. All right, so we have a ton of stuff to get to tonight. There was a live stream on Friday. With the live stream, there's always a lot of news. People, have a lot of opinions. A lot of announcements are made. A lot to cover. So we're going to be talking tonight about the Rishi Stronghold, PvP changes, a bunch of stuff that's coming out. But to begin with, we talk about... Let me get the right slide here. The icebreaker. There we go. Icebreaker is just a quick question that we get started with just to kind of get chat going. The icebreaker for tonight, my friends, were you able to view the BioWare live stream on Friday? And if so, what were your overall impressions? Elise, how about we start with you?
So I had to work until 5. And that's what time on the East Coast the live stream started. So I missed the first maybe 10 minutes maybe of it, but I caught the second half. So I came in during the PvP discussions, I believe.
Right.
And maybe the very end of them going through the Rishi thing and talking about all the hooks. And looking at the spaceship or the ship overhead or something.
Right. Like the first 10 minutes.
Going on and on about that.
I want to say the first 10 minutes was just like Garada the Hutt.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, okay. they had like a looped video playing there. It was just Garada and Baron Deathmark standing there next to each other. Yeah, that's their
So I heard all that, but I couldn't see it because I was walking to my car, getting in my car, and then driving home.
Right.
So I heard all about it, but I didn't actually see that. It sounded good. I didn't buy the Yavin Stronghold. I was not interested. Was way too big for me. So I don't.
Blasphemy.
I don't think I'll be. Well, it's just overwhelming the amount of decorating that Yavin looks like you need to do.
See, that's where you do it one at a time. Then it's not overwhelming. Like I think one section at a time.
Yeah, you would definitely have to pace yourself.
Yeah, I think I'll be passing probably, but I think all new strongholds are good. It usually means more decos. So
hey, there you go. Yeah, absolutely. Some Rishi themed ones, some more Rishi themed ones, I guess.
Yes.
We'll see. Redna, what about you, sir? Did you catch it?
Unfortunately, I was not able to watch the live stream, so instead I watched the recorded stream.
Oh, dang it.
But I did, actually. I was interested enough. Honestly, it's because you put the link out there, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to click it and see what happens. And so I pulled it up, and then I started, and It's actually the first recorded Twitch stream that I've watched since they started embedding the chat room alongside it, so that you can actually experience it as though it were happening live or whatever. You can't embed your own, messages into that chatter, but it was still actually pretty interesting, and quite frankly, I ended up getting sucked in. I watched the whole hour, and I enjoyed it, honestly. I think. Actually, because of course I then went around to different Discord channels and whatnot, and was just checking out how people had responded. And there was a quote, I think it was Arjar that said it, that basically he still has yet to buy the what's the train,
Umbara,
yeah, the Umbara Stronghold.
That one's
But
great.
this one actually has him interested, and he's going to go after it. And I'm actually in exactly the same boat. I fully intended on playing through and getting that whole thing unlocked, and then I've literally still yet to play the Umbara Flashpoint because I can never get anybody to do it with me, and I'm not going to solo it or pug it. So,
Dude,
well,
I'll do
me
it
and
with you. 'Cause I actually like it.
we have to do it too because I don't have my train yet either. So
good.
Really?
So,
Okay, I will do it with you guys. I'll do it with
and
you guys.
Arjar,
I actually love it.
said he would do it, but maybe he wants to do this one first.
yeah, well, and I'll be honest, from what I saw from this, and we'll get into the dirty details later, but this one has me much more motivated to do what it takes.
Really?
And yeah, I'm interested. So
Okay, so this one you buy with just straight in-game credits. You don't buy it. There's no work you have to do to go drum up some kind of external currency. Is that what it is right now? That's kind of got you going, hey, let's do this, or are you actually legitimately excited about
details
this?
about the Stronghold itself? I didn't think that
Cool.
I was going to get excited about a Stronghold again, realistically. And there are things about this Stronghold that actually inherently have me intrigued. Now, that said, actually, I do want to go ahead and put a public disclaimer for anybody that watches this or whatever. One really good little trick to keep in mind is that if you stockpiled your security key or your subscription cartel coins up, or if you can, pay for a few, unlocking the Stronghold with cartel coins is always a good idea.
Agreed.
Because you ever shut it down to put up another one, or you want to transfer a character to another location, if you transfer but haven't to another server, if you transfer and you haven't paid with cartel coins to make the initial purchase, then you actually have to make that initial purchase again. But if you've paid with cartel coins, or if you do, because there's a limit to how many you can have at one time, right? And
Yes,
I think
it's
we're
very
one
annoying.
over it.
On
So
Starforge, I have a full Yavin 4 that I don't have on Steel Shawn. It's very annoying.
Right. So it's a good idea to remember, if you have the cartel coins on hand or can get them, you should make your initial purchase. You can pay for the rooms with in-game credits, but it is a good idea to use cartel coins to make your initial purchase, because then you have it on any server that you take it to. It becomes baked in, because they don't compel you to actually use real money multiple times. They'll let you do the in-game currency all you want, but which I like. It's actually something that I respect. They could totally price gouge you and say, give me real money more, but they actually haven't done the EA. They've stuck to the BioWare, so I appreciate that.
You probably just pointed out something that they weren't aware of. That was like, we've all been quote unquote exploiting. According to the BioWare.
I think that was a tip when they first came out with Strongholds that Eric himself put out there.
Yeah, I was
So-
about to say anything
good.
you buy with cartel coins
Yeah.
is supposed to be reclaimable because it's bound
Real
to
money.
that.
Right.
Yeah.
So now,
It's like-
so if I go to
You're-
another server,
It needs to be reclaimable.
okay, so if I've made my purchase with the cartel coins, but the rest of it is cash, if I go to another server, obviously it'll be, free to unlock or open up. Do I have the rest of the expansion rooms, or do I just have the initial purchase that came with me?
Well, because I did do this, I've never had to pay a second time on any other server. So I do believe that
Okay.
all those expansion rooms come too. Now, don't enrage at me. I might
No,
end
I
up
think they do.
end up arranging for you to get a room unlocked if that ends up not being true. But
I will say though that I have noticed that it's not necessarily the case with the Drummond Koss and Coruscant, because when I dragged a tune over from another server, I reclaimed it for 0 credits. I don't know if that was like just an event thing going on or like a freebie they were giving you, but I didn't pay anything to get them on servers when I drug a character over.
I didn't either.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, Dromenkos and Coruscant, I do think are exceptions because they've also had deals on those. Like it was like I think they even had a deal at one point where it was one cartel coin to unlock them. On
Yeah,
sale.
and Nar Shaddaa had one time where it was like 5,000 credits or something like that. So
Yeah. So
Okay.
your mileage vary, but in my opinion, just at least it's a tried and true
Right.
truth. You could still get lucky otherwise too.
Well, if anyone in chat knows for sure on this and can actually tell us definitively, please do. We'd love to get that information out there because it's a great tip for sure. Magic, did you catch the live stream?
what day was it on again?
Friday.
Friday. No. I had my son and we were busy doing stuff. We were like running all over the place and it was a really good time. We had mommy son bonding time and I just wasn't thinking about it. I remember getting the notification on my phone and I thought, oh, I should tune into that. And I just didn't. So then I had to go on YouTube and look at all my friendly YouTubers who were making videos for me so that I could watch their stuff. Thank you all.
They've all done the work for you.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. So I'm actually in the same boat as you guys. I didn't get to see it live. And it's fine because it's just, I know it's going to be there. So I tune in when I can. Because for me, it's kind of like you, Elise. It's always at the tail end of my workday. I actually think they do it at the tail end of their workday. They do it at 4 o'clock Central Time. Which, if you do it an hour, they get it done, and if they want to leave at 5, they can leave at 5. So that works for them. Mm-hmm. But the problem for me is that's like right in the end of my workday, and then I've got to commute after that. So there's absolutely no way I can catch it live. So I come home, I watch the recording, and the dang giveaway. It's usually I'm fine until they do hey, we're going to give something away live, and I'm just like, oh man. And then you have to watch someone else win it, and you can't even comment rigged because you didn't have a shot at it to begin with. So. That's my
well, in a way, isn't that rigged?
So it just dawned on me. So I'm the only one who actually caught it live. I just couldn't watch it. I listened to it live. Really?
You were the closest to live we had out of the 4 of us.
That is funny.
Yeah, you actually caught some of it.
Yeah.
I just didn't get to watch it, but I listened to it live.
It's kind of like that Warframe freebie that you were like, you should check out their live stream and get the free frame. And so I immediately went onto my phone and set for half an hour earlier, set an alarm, set a reminder, turn on the stream. And so I go and I sit down to turn it on and it says Eastern.
Yeah, but
I'm like, oh man, I was 3 hours off.
If you had actually logged in, Redna, they were giving it to everybody because people crashed the servers. But that's a completely different thing.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, so I'll tell you later. If you logged in within the
That'll
last
have to
days,
be the Warframe Council.
And I totally logged in and even pulled that stream. I was like, you know what the heck? I'm at least, they were hosting some other channel. I was like, you know what? I'll at least sit in this channel and give them some sponsored time.
Who knows? Anyway.
Yes. So how about we send to chat the question, right? Question of the week.
Yes. So we asked, what is your level of excitement regarding the new Rishi Stronghold? And the choices are A, can't wait, looking forward to it. B, cautiously optimistic, I'll see when I get there. C, less than impressed. D, not really interested. Or E, not excited at all. So, please vote. Is it A, B, C, D, E? Or is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
It's A, B, C, D, E.
It's always A, B, C, D, E. It's just.
There was a time that it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Tell when Redna does it, which I'm really starting to dig. That like it becomes very noticeable when I make the poll.
Yeah, it's finagling every one of those into a sentence is definitely
the one time I did the poll, Redna was like, because it didn't meet his standards. I'm like, whatever, man, whatever.
All right, so I have voted. Has everyone else on the council added their 2 cents to the poll that we're putting in chat?
Elise doesn't do chat. Come on now.
One screen.
The one screen. So that means that they're all invalid. All of our chat poll is invalid because Elise isn't part of it.
Oh man, come on.
All right,
there's a guy in the chat room
better
that
without
voted
me.
that I can totally identify with. He self-proclaims as sucks at games. I'm with you, brother or sister, right there.
All right, so while we're waiting for them to finish up on that, we usually go around and just kind of answer how we would have answered this thing. How about we go clockwise, starting with Magic Ace?
I'm excited because I love Stronghold stuff. So, yes, I'm very, very excited. To me, I'm just like, oh, it's new stuff for me to do. Okay, so in this game, I've done almost all of the exploring there is to do, except for Starfighter. Like, I'm not going to be exploring that. But otherwise, everything in this game, I've pretty much explored. So, a new Stronghold gives me something new to explore, and I can customize it to how I want. And come on, like, PvP element. Oh,
Yes.
it's like made for Magic Ace. So, A.
That's really kind of funny. I've actually played Starfighter a few times, and I've done considerably less in this game than you. So that's kind of funny.
All right, so Redna, what about you?
I straight up A all the way. Like,
Really?
Yeah.
You are that excited about this?
I am legit excited about this, but I don't know. There's just so many neat little things about this. I mean, yes, I'm straight up. I'm hoping because there was one glaring absence or there's something that was not included in this entire hour presentation that I hope exists, and it should, but and we'll talk about it. That's the only reason why I would be cautiously optimistic, but realistically, what we know about the Stronghold itself, yeah, there is reason enough that this Stronghold is unique enough that I'm very excited.
Okay, yeah, we definitely are going to unpack this. I'm very intrigued.
I'll be honest, though. I mean,
unique is the perfect word to describe it.
And when they first mentioned that they were coming out with additional strongholds after, like when they first started discussing it, and people, and they were like, what would you like? Where would you like to see your stronghold? Rishi's always been one of the first ones that I thought would be a good addition.
Mm-hmm.
The whole pirate theme, it's got a very cool, like Star Wars has always been used universe, right? But it's also been kind of a blend of the old and the new, and that's the nice thing that I like about Rishi. It gives you that kind of historical past feel, but infused with that Star Wars feel as well. So I've been looking forward to having Rishi included anyway.
All right, Elise.
I don't really have a choice that fits me on the poll, which is fine. I am more excited for the community and less for myself for this. So I won't be buying the Rishi Stronghold, not because I think it's crappy. It's just,
is it too expensive?
I wanted Manon. That was the one that I wanted. I have Manon. I'm good. Like now, what? Right. So now I'm more interested in decorating Manon and then getting the Umbara train or not the Umbara train, the train, and and getting that done. So I'm kind of I am very strict about drawing my lines in the sand so I don't burn myself out. So I didn't buy Yavin. I think it's a gorgeous stronghold, but it was way too much stronghold for me. And this one, we got a ship and the thing. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty. I would like to visit, not live there. So
yeah, there's a lot to it. So it is roughly the size of Yavin 4, and they say
bigger.
It's bigger than Yavin 4, and it is supposed to be approximately, but a little bit higher, maybe, the cost of Yavin 4.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, the chat room is saying that it's 13 million total, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, that's why I'm already starting to save up credits. I've got 4 mil put back that I'm not touching. Everything in my legacy bank is not to be touched because I am saving for that. When Yavin 4 was released, I only had half of it saved up because back then I had even less time to play than I do now. So I had only a little bit, and I could only unlock the first 4 places, and then I had to wait. So I maxed out my deco, and then when I couldn't do anything else, I finally was able, I had enough cartel coins to unlock like 1 or 2 more. Then I finished the rest of it with credits. So this time I'm going to be able to unlock the whole shebang when it's released. So I'm already like hoarding credits. I'm doing dailies on like 4 tunes now.
You know what the worst part is? The timing on this is so terrible because I finally, Like I basically went through all my legacy bank and found all sorts of things that would be valuable and sold them. The only thing I held on to was my lightning attunement orb thing, which apparently I could have sold for 32 million credits. But I finally now have all of my almost all of my augments. So like I've got the whole gear set. I'm full 248 or whatever it is now. But that also means that like I went to every character I could, siphoned out all the credits, sold enough to barely make enough for that, and then the next night's repair bills. And so I'm so broke. I'm so broke.
No kidding.
I'm starting from ground zero right now.
Well, there's no rush. It's a stronghold, so you can't get spoiled on a stronghold. So it'll still be there when you are ready.
True enough.
Bust out the hoe and the plow and start farming, my friend.
Yeah, but this is too close to real life, you know? It's like all this stuff that I've had to put money down. Having a child is not cheap. You know,
Yep.
and so now I'm poor in real life and I'm poor in game, and that's just not fun anymore.
So
That's why I have to
I
draw
warned
lines
you,
for
man.
myself. That's why, because there's always something you could be spending money on in this game, and
yes.
I refuse to work.
Oh,
all
I'm the
day,
same
come
as you.
Yeah, you have to
home
draw a line
and
somewhere.
Do chores in game while ignoring my chores here. I can't.
And to be fair, honestly, I went from like 2 generations ago on those augments. I had not been upgrading them, you know? And basically, because I wasn't going to upgrade augments until I at least had all the gear. And then the ops group was like, listen, you're about 700 DPS behind everyone in the world. So we need you to step it up, you know? And it's like, okay, I finally have the full gear. So, but the nice thing is I skipped a generation of augments and was able to get everything in there nicely. But yeah, no, I'm the same as you, at least. Like, I don't think that credits are hard to come by in this game, but it does take a time commitment. And so I am very rational about how I plot where I spend my money, which is why I didn't even go after the Umbara, honestly, because I had other things to spend my time on. That's why I don't have one of these habits of needing to collect every pet or having to collect every mount, or, you know, like everybody's got their little thing that they want to spend their credits on.
Every Varactyl, every one. And I don't think it's that bad. Because it's controllable. It's a small amount.
Right. It's
every time a new
subset
Varactyl
of
comes
speeder.
out, yes, every time a new Varactyl comes out, I'm like, boom, I'll take it. I bought every pet when they let the Varactyl pets out, so yeah, that's mine. Sorry. Anyways,
Yeah, I have a pet problem.
Let's get some straw
too.
poll results out there and the chat room results out there, because I'm actually eager to talk about some more things along these
Sakari
lines.
didn't say what he was
Oh man,
feeling.
I was
Do you
hoping
wanna
to.
hurry up?
Oh yeah, Sakari, get your butt in here.
I was hoping to get skipped. In all honesty.
No, come on. You've got some saltiness.
Wait, okay, so
You need to
before
get
you
it out there.
before you answer, I need to know: are you sporting a man bun today?
No, I'm ponytailing it.
It's a ponytail.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just curious because we've been
Aw,
talking in the
man.
chat room that you actually look quite a bit better than usual.
Really?
That's not meant to be throwing you shade. You just look good.
Is it the?
So man bun equals good?
I was
think
wondering
it's
that maybe it
I've been
was,
polishing
yeah.
my forehead, so.
No, look.
Oh yeah, it's a dab. It doesn't reflect as much. That's why I'm wearing a hat this week.
He's looking deadly. It's his backdrop. Okay.
Yes, that's right. Everybody likes the Death Star. You can't go wrong with the Death Star.
It must be. It's sharp. It's actually making me start considering some of the more recent movies for some backgrounds.
Ooh,
Too.
so there's going to be some great chatter
There's some
after
really
this
good,
for our
stuff.
patrons.
I'll put it out there right now because we should do it in coming weeks. We can change the icebreaker background to the new Solo film. Has some snow scenery that we should be able to
Ooh,
grab.
that
something.
would be kind of
It
cool. since I haven't
does.
seen it yet.
Suggestion taken. We'll see if we can find something, get something figured out. Why not? Okay,
All right,
I'll be super
sorry.
quick, but I really want to unpack my reasons for this more in the deliberation segment, so I'm not going to belabor this. I actually voted C. I am less than impressed.
This
You
is
and I
why
are
you're
kind
so
of the
excited.
same.
You're
You
me?
and I are kind of the same.
I am the contrarian
The
vote.
salty side.
The salty side. Yeah, but it's for a different. See, Elise, I can identify with you. Yes, I'm glad for the community. The community seems pumped about this. I've got some reasons why I just wasn't impressed with the Stronghold. Now, I mean, I'm gonna get it. I'm going to go do it. I mean, I've never had the Yavin 4. I'm gonna do this. I actually really like Rishi as a planet, so I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna play a lot with the PvP stuff. I'm going to be open to being impressed, experiencing it. But based on what I saw on the live stream, I have some reservations, which I shall share. Does that sound fair for me to say right now?
No,
Going
it's
into
totally cool.
celebration
Okay.
mode,
I actually did want to say, since we're breezing by you, Elise, because I know that it doesn't really represent you in the poll, but would you say you're more on the B or the C side? Like, as being happy for the community generally, does that make you cautiously optimistic that hopefully the community generally is good, or are you just kind of less than impressed and uh, uh, trying to be optimistic for the community that it's a good thing?
Wow, that's a good question. I don't know. I can't really say that I unpacked it that far down.
Okay.
I really feel like I'm split down the middle. I'm glad that people are excited, and I wish everyone who's excited for it much excitement. And I'm glad that there's something for people to get excited for, and to grind for, and to farm credits for, and the opportunities therein. But for me, I'm just kind of like, okay, well, I'm ready for 5.9.3.
Really? Moving on. Let's go back to story.
Or fingers crossed 6.0. You didn't hear it first
Right.
here.
Whatever.
Who
Although
knows?
I am always excited about decos, obviously. So
Yeah.
I'm all about that. So
I love that we have such a diverse style of play here. We've got raiders, we've got stronghold decorators, story people. It's good. It's a good cross section of the community.
I
I'm
like
gonna be
everything in this game except for the Starfighter. Not that I want to speak on. I'm super thankful that it's here for the people who love it, but I love everything about this game except for that. So I'm that type of player. I've got my hands in all the cookie jars. I'm like, I want it all.
Well, no, that's even true because you're big into the whole freaking outfit design and everything. Like,
Oof.
Halloween.
Oh yeah,
Halloween
like the
special.
cosplay.
I have 16
Yeah.
outfits on my main character, and I have all of them unlocked on another character.
I'll be honest though, come this next Halloween, I've got something to submit because I've completely forgot that I'm a Doomars, and I had some contributions from viewers on my live stream that I actually have a character that is customized and is a whole costume and everything. So
Cool. All
there
right.
you go.
I'm not going to spoil it, but
We'll do some fun things coming Halloween time this year. It's coming up
Yeah.
All right.
pretty quick.
Well, let's do the results. What were the results in
All
chat?
right, so results in chat. Can't wait.
They
Looking
were
forward
chatty.
to it. We had 5 people that said yes. That's the thing. We can't wait. Cautiously optimistic. We had 2 votes. Less than impressed, 2. I believe I was one of those. Meh, not really interested, 0, and not excited at all, 0. So our chat room seems to be pretty pumped for this, generally speaking.
Cool.
That-
All right. So the community poll. We had 75 votes. Number 1, the top getting answer was A, can't wait, looking forward to it, with 38 votes. B was cautiously optimistic with 19 votes. D, man, not really interested, was 3rd with 10 votes. E, not decided at all, with 5, and less than impressed, which was C, with 3 votes. So it was either neutral or happy about it.
Yeah, I would say so. I think so I think the community thinks this is a good direction. I think this is what people want overall.
I'm going to be honest. It was one of the things that I noticed because, again, I actually watched this stream. There's no option for muting general chat, so I actually read the chat too as it was going on. It was interesting watching the chat room because there were the trolls, there were the negative Nancys, there were the haters in there. But what I was noticing was as different points were getting mentioned and like they got to actually see things and things were being revealed, there were a lot of people that basically were overwhelming the trolls. Like the haters wanted to hate, but the general opinion from that chat room was, oh wow, now that I'm seeing this is actually something I want. So I think that this is overall going to be a good addition to the game.
All right. Okay, so shall we cross into the deliberation segment and talk about some of the stuff in detail? There's more to this than just that Stronghold, of course. Make some brief mentions right here. The Mandalorian Battle Ring arena. Anybody excited for that? Magic Ace. Arenas, yeah, I don't know.
Well, it's not the arena so much that I'm excited for. I'm just excited for something new for PvP because, like Odessin, a lot of people talk about how much they hate Odessin, and me, like, I love it because it's something different. When you've PvP'd so much, a new map sometimes is like just super freaking refreshing. I'm like, yes, something that's not Void Star again. So
I like Odessin because it's cross faction. That's the thing that I liked about Odessin because that, again, Shadow Revan favorite,
Right.
like that whole enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of motif. They were going in that, and so I'm with Magic Ace about that. Okay.
Yeah, and honestly, that was the first thing that I noticed too and latched onto because this is the first 100% official. Every single queue, and even your hated GSF Magic, all PvP queues now are cross faction, and I think that is a very, very good thing for the health of the PvP community generally. Like
anybody
this is
noticed,
how
though,
you make
last
sure.
night that the PvP queue was broken. Just saying. I queued over and over and over again, and it kept popping up, and I'd click enter now, and I just stood there. And I'd leave queue and queue up again, and it would just enter now, and nothing would happen. I was like, this is the worst anticlimactic thing in my life. That was such a letdown. I had my dailies, and I'm like, oh, let's do this. I sat down, I had a drink, and I had snack, and then nothing. No PvP. And I was like, I don't want flashpoints. I just logged off. I was like, dang it. Just thought I'd throw that out there since we're talking PvP. Very good.
Wow. That's rough.
So it is another arena. I think arenas, by and large, I would say, and maybe you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, I would guess that the community tends to prefer the larger 8-on-8 battle Warzone arena than arenas.
I hate arenas. I personally hate arenas.
Yeah, the chat room ranked worked. Step it up,
I know
Magic.
tons of people were like, do ranked. I'm like, this is the tune I do ranked on, but ha ha ha, yes, it's so funny. I know you're all gonna laugh. Anyways, that is the tune that I actually do ranked on, but I was really tired last night when I started PvP. That's why I thought it would be nice to do regs, because I was like, I don't have to work as hard. I could get 3 million heals without really even trying.
GSF was popping too. L to play.
L to play.
Wow.
Nothing.
Those fighting words on the council, let me tell you.
Wow.
So yeah, so the thing, the Mando Battle Ring resembles Blood Hunt, I believe, is the flashpoint that everybody plays through. It's the one where you meet the Voss. What are their names? Voss and that married couple, the Mandos. You fight them in there.
Looks like that one.
Yes.
Not the one
Joss.
you fight.
Joss.
Shay on.
Yeah, it's like Shay Vizsla.
Joss and Volk.
Yeah, that whole flashpoint is similar.
Where the plates
the
open
style.
up at the floor and all that stuff. Is it that one?
Well, no, but it's actually more like the previous boss fights where it was open around the edges. So you don't have although apparently there will be fire involved. It's not like you get to the edge and then you're on the grating. There's actually an edge that has a hard edge. But what's interesting about it, actually, at first I was like, because somebody in the chat room asked, and so they answered, can you knock them over the edge? And the answer is yes, but you don't die. Because it turns out there's a whole chamber underneath. So at first I'm like, really? You can't fall to your death? Grrr. And then I was like, oh, wait. So this is actually, if anybody's done, it's Dread Fortress, where there's pieces of floor start emptying out, and then if you fall down, you can run to the middle and click a button, and it bounces you back up. It sounds like it's something similar to that, or there's a ramp that you can get back up to the top with, or whatever.
Dread Palace. Yeah.
Oh, is that Palace?
I want to say,
Palace.
and it may have been Neff or somebody was in the chat room during this live stream and said, "Oh, it's a shame that there's no spikes down in the bottom." And immediately I was thinking Mortal Kombat. Dude, knock someone off and there's spikes to die on it. That'd be great. Yeah, especially for a 4-on-4.
I can hear the characters. I love when my character dies, like also said. That's the sound it makes when it falls over.
So we have that. We have some other stuff. Let's see. There's a release date. We now know a release date. 5.9.2 is releasing July 31st. It's the end of this month.
Although I'm going to give BioWare some credit here, both of them were adamant. That's the goal. That's what we're aiming for. But we are actually taking feedback. And if there are some last-minute changes we need to make, we will not be releasing on the 31st.
Yes.
So do not hold them to that. That's the goal. But as we mentioned actually last week or the week before, I'm liking that they're taking our feedback and they are
Agreed,
making
yeah.
changes. So if they delay it, don't get pissy.
We probably should put it here that the PTS is open. This is the first time PTS
Right.
has been open since I've been playing this game to
No
anyone.
kidding.
So,
Not private.
so right. So for those of you that are in our chat, if you like PvP or you like to click around on strongholds and whatever, people should get in there so that we can find more bugs so things can be fixed, but especially if you PvP. So,
Right.
get in there
Is
and
it calling my name? Yes.
get in there and try it out.
So we covered a lot of the Warzone, the expected Warzone changes, the adjustments that they're going to make in a previous episode. So we're not going to belabor those this time. I just wanted to bring back up that one of the things that they're doing is doing some role tweaking, and this is something that they said during the live stream. So I think it's in scope for this. But if you jump into an unranked, like a Regs Warzone, and there's one tank on the other side, you should have one tank on your side. If there's two healers, there should be two healers.
How is that going to work?
Well, what they're doing is that if it's unbalanced, like if only one tank is queuing, then they'll randomly distribute it. But they'll actually address that too, because if there's only one healer queuing, then they'll put the healer on the other team. So for support roles, generally,
You mean so if there's two that come in on the other side, they'll split them up? Is that what you mean?
If two tanks queue, then they're guaranteed to be on opposite teams. If it's uneven, then it's going to be, a random chance that you get the extra or the only.
So if you and your friend queue
on that.
So if you say Elise and I like to heal, say Elise and I both queue as a healer, and nobody queues for the other one, we're gonna get split because they're trying to make
if you queue as a group, you're gonna stay with your group. But they are going to actually try, if two healers that are queued together are also queuing, they're gonna try and match them up against you, so that it will be evenly distributed. But
I wonder
if
you have groups like that, you are probably going to delay the queue.
You can't queue larger. Oh wait, unless didn't we see previously? They're preventing that. You can't have two healers queue together anymore. You can only have one tank and one healer in a pre-made group to queue.
Oh.
Well, isn't that just for ranked though?
That might be just for ranked. I'm
what I was thinking.
Now asking your question. I would think, yeah, that's right, because they are also trying to give preference to 8s. So even distribution. So they should be. Basically what that says to me is you probably won't actually get, if the two of you queue as healers as a group, you might have a longer wait than others because they'll at least wait for one other healer.
Yeah.
So people then need to, if you're going to queue up as a pre-made group, you probably should do some thinking about who's going to be the healer in the group.
Right.
So that you don't have a longer wait time. That makes sense. I'm glad that they're prioritizing 8s because I don't like playing 4s.
And I think that should be prioritized 8s, 100%.
I gotta say though, I love.
That's almost always how you get that.
Wow. Even if you have to go the max time and it's like you sit in the center waiting for it to come kill you, it's still shorter than like a Void Star. Like if you got a really good team on both sides in Void Star, and it goes the max amount of time, it's still shorter to do a max time arena than it is a max time Void Star.
Void Star can take forever.
Like, yes, and not that I hate it, I don't. I'm just saying, like, especially if I'm getting tired and it's the end of my PvP night and I queue up, I'm like, one more, and it's Void Star. I'm like, oh, of course it is. So it's really nice when it's arena. I'm like, yes, it's an arena. I'm gonna go to bed right after this. So I mean, I don't necessarily think I should, or they should do that, but I guess that's a different topic. But personally, I don't like that. I think it shouldn't have a preference. I think it should be completely random.
Now you can pick the ones that you want to do, though.
Yeah, that'll help.
Not quite.
No, you can't.
No, yeah. I thought you could.
No, Charles was very explicit.
I thought they were talking about checking them off. So I remember hearing that.
That was, so what they said was none of that is coming with 5.9.2.
Ah, I see.
That's old on the draw.
Discussions.
Yes.
And the one that implement anything like that, it's not going to be that you get to choose which ones you get into. It will be something, I think I mentioned it previously, but basically that you might be able to choose one or two that you never want to be in, but you still have to be available for all of them. So basically, if you don't want to do Hutball, you'll never see Hutball, but you still have to be randomly put into the others because of what the big flaw to that premise is that basically there will be dead zones. Even if somebody, like if there's one person that absolutely loves Hutball, but the rest of the world doesn't, they'll never get to play the game that they want to. And they don't want to create an environment with that, like that.
I get
So
that.
they may give you a one opt out of, but they're not going to let you to choose only the two that you like.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to choose between Quest Ball and Arena.
Because what would happen if you allow people to do that, where they're like, I want to just play one, or maybe the top two in my top two list. Everybody's going to do that, right? And so what's the PvP community is going to fragment into arena players and players of Void Star and players of Void Star and I don't know, Hypergates, and just the Hypergate players, and all of that subdivides that group that they would be filling all the war zones with. And the idea is to have people queue, pops for everybody, where everybody gets to play stuff. Pops are happening all the time. That's what this whole cross faction thing is about. Allow everybody to come into the cross factions. That creates a bigger pool of people to draw from. They should increase the pops. If you allow the community to subdivide like that, we're back to square one, where we're not getting pops at all for arenas, but everybody likes,
it defeats the purpose.
Exactly. We and that's not where they want to go. So I don't see them going there.
Yeah, but then
especially not at the same time, right?
Well, but on the flip side, people quit at the beginning though when they get the ones they don't want.
It's true.
So I mean, you still already.
But the pop still happens, though. The match still happens, so the people that do want it get to stay.
And then you just
backfill.
I would say that it would be cool if you could, like, press a star or something, like a little button that you could asterisk saying, like, these are your preferred ones. And so, like, if one of those is going to pop up and you've got 50 people queuing and, 20 prefer it and 30 don't, then those 20 are the ones that are going to go in that one. And then they'll, like, generate another one. I think if they could fit something in like that would be great, because then people like Elise, you can't necessarily check off that you'll never do Hutball, but you would have less frequent Hutball, theoretically.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm happy to do. There's just arenas and Quest Ball I absolutely loathe.
I'm gonna be.
I'll tell you what.
I will. If I had the ability to like choose which ones I wanted to play, I would only play Hutball.
Yeah, Hutball's a blessing.
Whether it's Shot a Ball or Catch Ball, I'm playing any of it. And if they add more of them, I want a Hutball league. I love.
Okay, so
Oh, it's gonna happen now. I'm pretty sure of it.
How about the fact that we can now, like, as a group, like, say for small groups night in our guild, we want to buy a Rishi Stronghold for our guild, and we want to, like, make it like the hideout or whatever, and we can make it Warzone and do like a guild Warzone kind of thing. I didn't catch the live stream, so I didn't like hear all the questions. I watched videos about it, but I know that like you can do specific decorations for that, and I personally would be like, I want to be in charge of all of that. Make me a special rank, please. I want that.
Oh yes.
So let's get into this, because basically this is we already had in the chat room, and I want to give credit where credit's due, so I'll scroll up here. It was Archman85 actually put in here, and this is an extraordinary point. For the Yavin 4 Stronghold, there's always been guild strongholds as well as the guild ship. But really, the guild ship is what the guild thing has been about. This Rishi Stronghold is the first stronghold that is actually like, hey, this is a good guild stronghold.
It's a game changer.
Yes, because
totally agree.
Seriously designed. So because it does have a lot of themes around like PvP, a lot of what that really translates into, you can design these different sections for guild events, right? It doesn't have to be a PvP theme, right? But then you do get to the final room, the final major room. Okay, so let's, I guess I should also put out there, anybody that hasn't seen any of the footage yet, what it is the stronghold itself is massive, and it is like Rishi on the ground. It's even got a starting area that is like when you first land on Rishi, and it's almost as big as Rishi itself as a planet. I mean, it is huge, and you've got rooms, you've got side rooms, and you got whatever.
Please tell me there's speeder points. Do I get
to
take a speeder?
So you can go all the way across on the ground and literally ride a speeder back. And then at the beginning, there's also a button panel like an elevator, because then you can choose to go back to where that speeder came from, or you can hop on a speeder and it will take you up to the battleship that is above, that is also part of your stronghold. So then you get up to the battleship and you get to actually, like, there's all sorts of rooms on the battleship. Think like Ravagers, the operation. It's nearly
I
as big as
know.
Ravagers, right? And then the final room on that is this very massive, like large scale, where I think there's a limit to your stronghold. You can have 50 people in it. You can have all 50 people in the arena at that time. You could literally do 25 versus 25 hut ball. Or
My other guild is excited about this because there's members that love to PvP, but they hate waiting for queues and stuff like that. And then there's those of us who absolutely we're like, come on, queue with us, we want a PvP. So like we're all really excited because we're fighting over who's gonna decorate it when it comes out. We've already got the money for it. We're fighting over who's gonna decorate because I know our guild for that is really excited, and I can't wait.
Okay. Can I share my saltiness now? Is now the time
yeah,
to do
get
Yes.
yourself
Please
this because
do.
I can follow it up with
Salty,
things that
sorry.
I've
Okay, so I have a bit of a criticism, and it's not one that I don't have a big beef, but it's just something. It's like, man, that's how I'll express that. So if you look at the Umbara flashpoint and the train stronghold, what they did was they created the flashpoint, and they look, we have all of these assets. Let's just sling some hooks in there and turn it into a stronghold. So what you have is a recycling of content. They've created all of this, the background, so the background becomes and now you can put things in it. There's no enemies there. We're good. So they get kind of double, like they get like bang for the buck because they only have to develop really one set of backgrounds, one set of world, and then they use it in two places. The same has happened with this thing, right? So we have the Ravagers.
Stronghold.
We've already mentioned the Ravagers. And that was one thing that as I saw Eric running around in this place, it was like, oh, we have this room. I'm like, okay, that looks like when you drop down through the hole after beating Master Blaster. That looks exactly like that part of the ship. And then you have this, and he runs into, this is the bridge. And I'm like, that's where you fight Koratani. And he's running around here, and he's like, running up the gangplanks, to this thing, and I'm like, oh yeah, and he was like, this is perfectly designed for like one-on-one type combat. And I'm like, yeah, when you're in the Ravagers, that's the place where I know to be careful as a tank, because if I go in there guns blazing, I'm going to die every time. Usually, because there's so much AOE in that section. It was just section after section after section after section after section, and I'm really not as worked up about this as I'm appearing to be. But where it was just straight duplicate of assets from the Ravagers, and it's like, and I saw somebody else pointed out that this somewhere else about the where they had done that with Umbara, and I was like, that's a good point, because I was already feeling this with regard to this. So it's just like a reuse of assets. Now I'm excited about the PvP functionality. I'm really excited about a healer dummy. I think that is long since been waiting in this game, and now we have a place to do
Agreed.
it. And it's a shame that you can only do it in this stronghold. They need to create decos you can do that with and put them all over the place.
100%.
So I'm excited about
And
that.
better would be if they made a dummy just to bounce off your thing and then keep going, but that you can earn in game as
Absolutely.
drops, either
Mhm.
as PvP rewards or for the operation. I don't care, but
Absolutely.
Okay, keep going.
And in all honesty, they need to come up with a dummy that just shoots you repeatedly so that you can practice your mitigation, your tank stat stuff. Come up with something with that, So I like that they're starting to stretch out on that. But for me, it was just duplication of assets. And I think that's another thing is that I like the outside, but Rishi is nice because it's kind of like being at the beach on on a summer day, right? And it's you kind of running and your feet are in the water, and there's a refreshing feel to it. I think with the sun being so low in the sky, it doesn't have the bright colors that Rishi does as a planet. So I was kind of, I know I'm really nitpicking on this.
Oh wow, but that's a good observation that I hadn't picked up on.
Yeah, the
I
sunset.
appreciate those kinds of details that you notice.
But
I
like
Safari and I are the people who freak out when we see the smoke off the obelisk. We're like,
It's
ooh,
true.
the smoke.
Yeah, the little environmental things, I think that the niceties are some of the things. I mean, it's not a major criticism, but the sun being low in the sky changes the lighting across the entire stronghold, and I think that makes it more dull. So there's some things like that, and I think just overall those observations began to pile up on me while we were looking at it with Eric. But like I said, I'm going to reserve. I'm going to go buy the dang thing. I'm going to go run around in it. I'm going to decorate it and see if my opinion of it improves. So that's kind of where I am on this.
One thing in regards to the lighting is that they did mention in passing that a lot of the ceiling hooks were missing. And to that end, one of the great things about Stronghold since they came out that is really nice is that the chandeliers and lights that you choose to put on hooks actually do change the environment. So hopefully they actually give you enough control over the different spaces with those kinds of tools that you might be able to overcome your lack of enthusiasm with the sunset setting with the actual lighting within the Stronghold.
Lighting is a problem as well, by the way. Lighting, I don't think there's enough lighting decos out there right now. They need to have more so that you can.
I agree.
Right. So way, or they're really expensive. Like the Capera has a lot of really pretty lights, a lot of them, but they are hard as heck to find.
I do have a couple of really nice ones from Yavin 4, but I can't find them anywhere. Like I got a couple of them and I don't know how I got them and I can't get them anymore and they're not on the GTN. Ugh.
I mean, like they need
is that the extent of your salt or?
Well, I mean, just that, but just think, let me just throw this on you real quick. They need to release these decos, make them craftable, or put them on the cartel market or something. But open them up so that we can.
Decos would be awesome.
Yeah, that
was my thing. If we're gonna go from salty, because I'm gonna go to over enthusiastic real quick, but I do have one salt, and that was what I hinted at originally, which is the fact that, quite frankly, I think the reason why Elise ought to be a little bit less than enthused is because throughout all of this. Why I'm excited is that there are things about this Stronghold that are awesome, but they didn't mention decorations at all in the entire presentation.
That's right, they didn't
show us a single new decoration. They showed us some new features and new mechanics and new like actual behind the scenes design that they have done in this Stronghold that they've never done before. And to your point, I completely agree with you. You got to start somewhere is the way that I'm taking it. But I agree with you. I hope that they create a way that we might be able to import some of these features into our own Strongholds in the future, our other Strongholds in the future. But I like when they said that this was a dedicated to PvP and that there would be new things that you could do for PvP in this new Stronghold, you know, on the roadmap. I was expecting that to be like decos, you know, like let me be able to utilize putting in the hooks and set up freaking Void Star environments.
Put the hut ball where I want to put it.
Yeah.
Right. Or put the doors where the bombs need to be set, where I want to put them, you know, like that kind of stuff. And we saw nothing about decorations here, which I hope that means at the bare minimum, they at least have a whole new set of Rishi stylized decorations to put out there. But I want to see some PvP style decorations that can be utilized in these PvP environments.
By the way, hooks was a big criticism so far in the community. I think the feedback they're getting is like more hooks.
Right.
I mean, generally.
Which is ironic. They said, I think, like there are more hooks in this one than most of the others combined.
Right. Yeah.
But they also did say that there were more places that they haven't put them that they intend to put them. Additionally, I think it's worth mentioning. I do want to put out there some of the very unique things because we are running low on time. The things that make this Stronghold really unique are the fact that when you get to that final room where you can have a large-scale PvP environment, one, there's a scoreboard, and it keeps score for you. And there are styles of games that you can set up. So you can set it up. You click on the scoreboard, and you check a color, similar to like what you do with Operator 9 in Terra from Beyond. And then you're painted with that color, and then it will track the score based off of your color. So you can set it up before you start things. Also throughout, there are gates that you can lock people into rooms so that throughout the game match, they don't exploit environmental things or try and hide and run or stuff like that. It actually lets you set that up. But the other thing is you can choose. Do you want to do a hut ball map? And then it will set up a hut ball in the middle of the map. And then you try to run from one side to the other, and there are staging areas where you will spawn during the hut ball match. It keeps score as you go, which is awesome. And then there's a death match style. I'm actually curious about the death match. Can you die once, and then it's until everybody dies, and they're keeping score, or is it respawning? You know, like normal ground PvP, or even like GSF PvP. the other side of that too is, so there's also going to be a control mechanism in the center of that room that actually lets you do two things that are unique to any stronghold ever. First, you can decide if you want the pre-made architectural design, so the ramps and the walls and things where it'll actually just set it up.
It just loads a pre.
By
the way,
stuff like that.
Give us 10 more of those. That would be great.
Something to flip through, right?
Yeah. So okay, I want to play this. So just preload this stuff. That would be freaking great.
And which, because they mentioned that you could do that after they showed you what the hooks were. And at first I was like, man, those hooks seem kind of sparse and spread apart. Sure, you can switch between hook settings. Well, it turned out that actually, because of that preset scaffolding, the hooks, they didn't want you to be able to put things that interfered with the scaffolding. Okay, I get that. The other thing that you can do with this, though, is not only can you actually change, like, between, say, you want a ship deco or you want 5 blue decos with some small ones around it or whatever, which you can do in any stronghold. The other thing is that you can actually change the layout. You can rearrange different preset layouts overall, where the gaps are and everything. So, which is cool. That means that you will be able to regularly not just change what types of decos you have in a similar basic layout, but you can change that similar basic layout. And I like the idea of being able to set up different obstacles, obstacle courses and whatnot on. Go ahead.
Kidley and Mox are saying that it is a deco, not a preload. So that it's something that you can put down, but it's not actually like preloaded from the arena, I guess.
If that's the case, then maybe we get what we want, Sakari, which is that there will be a set number or multiple types of decos, and they're probably going to be exorbitantly expensive and only available on the cartel market, but who cares? Like, if you get a huge different number of scaffoldings for different hutball environments or death environments or whatever. I'm also really curious to see, they didn't actually show us an example of it, but they did mention that there should be some environmental effects. So I'm hoping that we actually get to see that sort of stuff.
Right. No, let's bring it on. Let's do it. I say I'll go look at it. So one thing I do want to throw out there, I'm going to make a prediction, and we're going to see. Let's give it 5 months, 6 months. Let's come back to this. I'm willing to bet that if I, as a player, buy this whole thing, get the whole thing unlocked, and then proceed to get it all decorated and go, ooh, come friends, come play on my whatever, they may give it a try or two, but that'll be the end of it. This is only going to see use if a guild purchases it as their guild stronghold and regularly organize events using it. That's the only way, or if the guild decides, okay, to change things up tonight, we're going to go to Sakari's stronghold and go do this there. But generally speaking, I think for everybody who goes to all of the time setting up all of this PvP arena stuff, it's going to fall into disuse. But I'm salty about that, but that's a prediction.
There's additional opportunities, actually. A lot of the larger streamers that are dedicated to PvP, if they can start actually building within their own communities, that it doesn't need to be a guild stronghold, it could be theirs, and then they actually start doing it. Also, this gives you the opportunity, because the way things are laid out in various different rooms, there are certain sections that give you an overhead view, so you could actually have commentators doing the live streaming between competitions, and actually have
there's an esports element to this. You could build your own little esports league if you really wanted to.
You could build your own private esports league amongst it. Like, there are opportunities, and I agree with you. As with anything that BioWare does, first and foremost, if it doesn't catch on, they're going to let it, die, shrivel and die. But if they can get some traction and then give it some more attention, I think there is the potential here for this to be something fairly special and, quite frankly, more unique than what I've seen in other MMOs.
I'll say that I've had a lot of times in the last few years where I'll especially when PvP queue is broken, people still want PvP. Hey, look at for this amount of people, going to invite to Stronghold and do a PvP thing. I think honestly it could actually be utilized in general chat, just like when you would set up for an operation and you're advertising for it. You could set up groups for that specific thing. Not even guild related, because I've had several things where people would be like, hey, we're going to go do just such and such thing, and hey, guess what, we're going to go to Oricon and PvP for a little bit. People just start showing up and participating in this stuff, and it was more so when I was on Sorry, she's really excited about something.
She's having a good
It was,
time.
yeah, it was, it was more so when I was on a different server. But I mean, honestly, if that's what they want, we can get it done. Just start advertising.
Yeah.
Well,
totally.
and to be perfectly realistic, I'm sitting here as a streamer in my own mind thinking of circumstances that could easily be arranged, right? Like I decide, because I spent a lot of time describing the one final big battle room, but they did have several other rooms that are designed to be like a customizable arena environment or whatever. And I could see a situation where all you need is a very basic website. And actually, there's a lot of esports, like amateur esports websites set up where you can set up tournament frames. Get a team, a 4v4 team, tournament frames. Okay, now you're going to meet in so-and-so's stronghold on so-and-so's, server. At a given time, and here are the prizes that we've got set up. And the nice thing is they have incorporated in this strong enough controls. And the cool thing is, even like where I said that you could lock the room down, because of course anybody can click on that button, but it announces to the entire stronghold who unlocked the room. So if somebody's in the midst of a PvP fight and they decide they want to, throw in the towel or try and cheese a
who the
bug or
source sport
whatever.
is. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Well, if they click that button and it says Source Sport, hit the button. It's like, okay, sweet. Your team just automatically forfeited. Thank you. Moving on to the next round of the tournament.
Absolutely.
So those things do exist.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot to this. We are kind of getting to where we're running out of time. Anyone want to make a final statement on this? Like last thing to throw in there? We good? Generally,
I am really, really thrilled that they're putting this kind of background, like these game features exist, that this technology exists for strongholds.
Agreed.
I do agree with you that I'd like to see it in the other strongholds, but that's the other advantage to this being so massive and having so many rooms. At least we've got a lot to play with within a single stronghold. Those people that are incentivized or motivated or excited about this type of material, like myself, hopefully will excite enough other people as well, friends, community guilds, that maybe they invest in importing. I mean, let's be honest, Tatooine Stronghold certainly has the opportunity to incorporate some of this.
That's what I was gonna say. Is my final little wrap up thing is, this is the stuff that should have been happening when they released Strongholds the first time, in my opinion, because Strongholds never, I don't think, really fully did what they intended it to do when they released it, and I think these type of elements would have made them really take off, and it wouldn't have just been like, ooh, decos, okay, show 10 people and be done with it, and you don't touch them again for 3 years. I think it would have really encouraged people and made people have fun with it. And I know there are some people in this game that have so much fun with it the way it is, and that's all they pay the money for, so that they can get all the decos and decorate all the things. This is not a slight to them. I'm just saying, for the majority of people, that's not their play style. I think Strongholds would then be more important to them.
Sure.
And that's my final thoughts.
Absolutely.
Well, and so what we ought to say, because in the chat room, even Magic has put this out there, we can even do council PvP events. I think that we should probably expect, if it isn't a main attraction for Extra Life this year for the Unholy Alliance group, so I'm just going to plug it now.
There might be
Usually
a speeder
in November
event.
we get that.
Or
it'll be something that I would like to incorporate. But I mean, I would love to get some signups for some of our big events, especially the charity-oriented ones, where people are we could even get people to put real money in as donations to the charity event in order to participate in the tournament event where you could get some in-game prizes, that sort of stuff. That's where this is going to really, really shine. And yes, if we can get enough people to email in to the council SWTOR, we could do a council tournament, Elise likes to PvP. She doesn't think she's any good, and she prefers the 8v8s, but we could do something, Each one of us actually enjoys that part of the game, even if we're not superstars.
Guildies. She does not like to PvP. She likes to PvP with guildies. That's the caveat.
Yes.
You can PvP with council.
All right, guys.
I got you, at least.
So we do need to wrap up. Let's switch to announcements real quick. Let me drop a quick announcement or three, and then we'll go into the closing. So I wanted to make sure to bring up one of our patrons, B. Kavanaugh. Shared some stuff with us. He says, "Hey, Council, thanks for streaming every week. I really enjoy the talk show format, hearing 4 different perspectives and the discussion back and forth. I also enjoy the subject matter you cover, not just news, but also topics such as in-game economy, your origin stories, and so on. Wish I could tune in live on a regular basis, but Monday nights aren't a good time for me. I always look forward to listening when you post the episode later, though. We want to say thank you, and we appreciate you, and thank you very much for helping us keep this thing afloat. B. Kavanaugh and our other patrons. Thank you, guys. Real quick, just so we make sure we reiterate this, the public test server is live if you are interested. Volk has a fantastic guide on how to download, install, copy characters over to the test server. The best way to do that is go to volk.com, and there's a little search, little magnifying glass up in the top right. Click that, put PTS in there, and the when you search for it, the very first thing that comes up is his guide on how to get installed and start on the PTS. So definitely go check that out. Get on the PTS and give the stuff a try before it goes live. Get on the forums and give them your feedback, because they need the community's feedback on this to make this good. I think if we've been given the opportunity to try it out and we can't really cry later if it's not exactly, if they haven't taken our perspective into account. Another thing, do not.
It'll be on Reddit.
Oh, it'll be on Reddit. That's yeah. But share, say something. But definitely, they've got forums set up for you to feedback on. So that's one thing. Another thing, do not use a character boost of any kind on the PTS. The PTS is a live server.
Oh my goodness, yeah. You could spend real money on a freaking test server that's going to get
Don't
deleted.
spend cartel coins. Don't use your character boosters or whatever, because
they give you free money and stuff in there, so you don't have to do that stuff. Do not spend your own.
And you will lose it.
They
It
give
is
you
the
free
PTS.
money. They give you free gear boosts. They give you everything.
So
yes.
be careful.
Just
Just wanted to put that warning out there. Another real quick email thing about the council. The council's email is back up, so now you can email any one of us again at MagicAce at the Council SWTOR, or Sicario, Elise, or whatever at the Council SWTOR. Also, our main email address, the council at thecouncilswotor.com, is up and running. So if you would like to email us, give us some feedback, tell us something outside of the show during the week, feel free. We are listening.
And on the 20th is Pucked 2 meetup. Elise will definitely be there, and I'm really thinking about getting there because we have a lot of people that are talking about buying rounds. So if you happen to be in town for San Diego Comic-Con, go ahead and meet us at Mission Brewery. I don't know the time yet still, but I do want to make sure that we put that out there. We got one more week before I
you need to follow the usual podcast. Marshall will tweet
on
out
Twitter,
the times and stuff on Twitter. Mm-hmm.
Yep, Darth Pops and I am Will Griggs, but there's a bunch of people from a bunch of podcasts that are going to be there, and you guys should totally show up. It's looking like it's going to be the biggest year ever. It's really, really exciting.
What is the date for this? Does anyone know kind of a ballpark range?
It's July the 20th.
Okay, so that's later this month.
Friday of San Diego Comic-Con.
Cool.
And actually, if you go to SDCC blog, the unofficial San Diego Comic-Con blog, we have been mentioned as a off-site gathering.
Yep.
Cool. So Pucked, P-U-C-T.
So that means we made it. Woo-hoo.
Yeah, we're like for reals, yo.
We
announced it last year, if you remember, Redna. You and I announced that this was going to be a thing last year.
Because last year was 2.0, and we decided this is an annual thing guaranteed. So, yeah. It's good. It's continuing, and we will be there. I am just, if my wife is kind enough to let me abandon a newborn in her. So I probably won't be there, but I'm trying.
Yeah. Go ahead, Magic.
And with that, we would like to say thank you. Thank you to everyone who happened to be in chat, talking and chit-chatting with us. We really appreciate it. Thank you for the lurkers. We saw you. We still love you. We appreciate it. Thank you to the people who participated in Straw Poll, both in chat and out of chat. We super appreciate it. And to our patrons, you all are amazing. We are so happy you're here. We thank you to everyone. Thanks for being here. Thanks for downloading our podcast. Thanks for watching us. Thank you all. You're awesome. Even the Reddit haters.
And that brings us to the end of the episode. The council is adjourned. If you'd like to reach us, you can email us at thecouncil@thecouncilswotor.com. That's right, because the email's back up. Like our Facebook page at facebook.com/thecouncilswotor. You can find Elise on Twitter at 8brown35. MagicAce at the MagicAce. me at R3DN4, and Sakari at I am Sakari. Also, don't forget our Patreon page at patreon.com/thecouncil where patrons get to catch the articles we're talking about and behind the scenes and exclusive backstage access to our after show chat, recorded special for them. And you might even get an extra benefit of being shouted out any messages you do send to us, like this week. That's it for this week, guys. I have saved the Republic twice before. I fought Mandalores and armies of the dark side. You won't stop me.
I understand.
You are on this council, but we do not grant you the rank of master.
What? How can you do this? This is outrageous. It's unfair. How can you be on the council and not be a master?
Take a seat, young Skywalker.
Forgive me, Master.